Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Health Made Easy. I'm your host, Dr. Jason Jones, your practical voice in a world of confusing health information. And man, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite nutrition or food topics today. And we're going to be talking about slow carbohydrates and which ones are the best ones. Now, carbs, okay, important part of your diet, maybe not the most important thing, certainly it varies from person to person. But most food sources are going to have some sort of carbohydrate in them. However, some carbs they work fast, meaning they go into your bloodstream and they make your blood sugar spike, and some work slow when it comes to supplying energy. Now, depending on the speed of the carbs, they may be good or they may be bad when it comes to weight loss goals or managing your blood sugar. Now, with that being said, the glycemic index of carbohydrates determines the rate in which they are digested. Now, slow carbs, as the name would imply, releases energy slowly into the body, and fast ones, on the other hand, are going to release it very quickly. So, if you're going to go out and you're going to burn a ton of calories. You're going to have a hard workout, a CrossFit WOD, or you're going to go run, for an hour or something like that. And you're just like, man, I think I probably should have some extra energy on board. You might want to try the fast carbs for that because it would get into the bloodstream very quickly and give you the energy quickly. However, the higher the glycemic index level of the carb, the quicker it's going to deliver the sugar and energy into the body. So if you're going to sit on your butt for 4 hours, you probably don't want to choose those. Now, glucose contained in slow carbohydrates or slowly released carbohydrates is absorbed more slowly, and this does not cause a rapid spike in your insulin levels, which is something that we don't want to have happen. So eating slow carbs combined with protein and fat, and I'm going to also add fiber to that, is a healthy way to reduce how quickly things go into the bloodstream, and also reducing your risk of things like obesity. Now, what are some of the best foods? All right, so we've got some non-starchy vegetables. A lot of these can be sort of the best source of slow carbs. That's going to be kale, spinach, broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes, onions, cucumber, and asparagus. Be careful for nightshades if you're a chronic pain sufferer. And you can certainly include these in the diet, and just keep an eye on how your energy does over the next several hours. I mean, you should be able to eat a meal and go 4 or 5 hours without really feeling hungry, unless you are, I would say, a very competitive athlete. But some ideas on how to add these foods into your diet. So maybe you add spinach and tomatoes into your morning omelet. Maybe snacking on a carrot and celery sticks. They're super high in fiber, so they don't do much to your blood sugar. Preparing a salad of leafy greens for lunch, adding some nice protein and some nice fats with that to really slow those carbohydrates down even more. Taking maybe stir-fried broccoli alongside your dinner. All right, now next one is going to be nuts and nut butter. Now, you can get very few carbs from nuts and nut butter, but they do have carbs in them. They're high in protein, they're high in fiber. There's also healthy fats in there as well. And depending on the person, it's going to depend on whether or not it's a good idea or not. So you can add a few walnuts to your salad or snack, or maybe a handful of Brazil nuts every couple of days. You can also spread almond butter on, fruits. Or even like on toast as well, because it would help slow down those carbohydrates in the toast. Just make sure you don't get too much of that. But you also need to avoid things like those sugar-coated notes, sugar-coated notes, and those ones that have a ton of nasty oils that they put on them. So more of a natural nut butter is going to be, or a raw nut is going to be much better, because you avoid all the other nasty things that they put on them. Fresh fruits are great because typically berries, cherries, melons, pears, apples, plums, all those things, they have fiber with them, so it makes them a much slower release of a carbohydrate into the bloodstream. Now, you're going to have some ones that are relatively quick, and those are going to be things like, mango, papaya, pineapple. Even though they got fiber in them, a little bit faster going into the bloodstream. And you should definitely avoid the ones that give you trouble. Now, steel cut oats and quinoa. So these are some great things. This could be like a breakfast cereal, for you. Instead of say puff cereals and cornflakes and frosted flakes and honeycombs or whatever it is that you might normally eat, which have extremely high glycemic index, along with things like orange juice. I mean, that's like mainlining sugar directly into your bloodstream, and no wonder we're hungry by 9 a.m. No wonder we're falling asleep at 2 p.m. and then we have to have another cup of coffee because we started our day with a sugar bomb, spiked our blood sugar, and then we crashed really, really hard. So thing about steel cut oats and quinoa, you can cook a bunch of it, and then you can just heat it. Pour a little bit of like boiled water right over top of it, warm them right back up, and then have a nice warm meal, in the morning. And then you can cook enough for the week and just store it in your fridge and pull it out as you need it. Next one, and it's probably going to be one of the last ones we're going to talk about, is sweet potatoes. Okay, so unlike white potatoes, sweet potatoes actually contain slow-release carbs. You can serve these mashed. You can make sweet potato fries if you want. You don't fry them. I mean, bake them in the oven. Or you can just do them baked alongside your meals. And just like anything else, you have to know your tolerance. You might not, have one that's huge. You might have a half of one, and then maybe that's all of the carbohydrates that you need in a meal. So what are some other ones? Brown rice, because of the fiber content. Whole wheat pasta, as opposed to white pasta, where they've stripped out, all of the nutrients, all of the fiber, all of those things. Whole wheat's going to be better in terms of a slower carbohydrate. So if you can eat primarily slow carbohydrates, you're going to have much less swings in your blood sugar. You're going to have a lot less problems with blood sugar dysregulation. And you're also going to be able to manage your weight a whole heck of a lot better, and your overall health. So I hope this helped. This is Dr. Jason Jones signing out. If you have not gone on to whatever podcast player that you listen to this on and given us a rating and review, we would love for you to do that. I don't care what the number is. 5 stars would be awesome. But you put whatever you think and how this helps you, and we would greatly appreciate it. See you guys on the next podcast. Bye-bye.